You don't have to look at that. We'll just forget about that.
Yeah.
And we got to talk pretty loud so I can pick it up, too. Talk pretty loud so I can pick it up.
Well,
We don't have to holler.
And you have to talk loud in there. I don't understand.
Or you can't hear me, can you?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I want you to start when you was born.
Well, I was born 1897, the 29th day of June, in 1897.
1897. And what was your mommy and daddy's? Your mommy and daddy's name?
Well, my dad's name was Jack.
Jack Delaney?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mother's name was Lori Ann Delaney.
Uh-huh.
I'm going up to gather that pepper for Evelyn. So.
Okay.
And how many was they? How many of you? Was you the oldest, or?
I was the oldest one.
And you had how many sisters and brothers?
Well, let's see. I don't know if you don't meet the one that's born the infants or dead.
Oh, was they son born then?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
didn't know
they died
that.
at birth,
Uh-huh.
you know. She'll talk to you.
Yeah. Okay.
And they was, let's see, oh God. You mean how many brothers and sisters have I got dead?
Dead or alive? Just how many of they was you growing up?
Well, we growed up, they was, Mercy, Lady.
Was Versi the youngest?
Mercy is the youngest
Okay.
that growed up, you know. And Pearl was the oldest. There's had three sisters.
The three, Versi and Pearl.
Versi and Beatty and Pearl.
Versi and Beatty and Pearl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pearl was next to me, you know. She is the oldest sister.
Mm-hmm.
Beatty was the next oldest sister.
Mm-hmm.
Versi was my youngest sister, one's living now.
Yeah.
The other two dead.
Mm-hmm.
No, they did versus both of them.
Yeah.
And I had, let's see, I've got, counting the ones that died at birth and the young ones. This one died at 9 months old, one died at, Victor died and he's 9 months old.
Yeah, I never knew all this.
And AC died when he was 6 years old.
How'd he die?
Well, he just died with sickness. I don't know
Yeah.
what exactly what killed him. Unless the Fenton,
Yeah, no, I remember
he
being.
died when he was about 60 something.
Mm-hmm.
And Henry died when he was in his, I believe when he was in his 60s. And I've got Carson to live with.
Yeah. So that meant you had how many brothers and sisters all? Was
11 now.
there was 11 of you?
They was, I guess, they was twins, boys. Twin boys died and then born. And there's one girl between Beatty and Henry, I believe, died. When she was born. I don't know. They didn't live no time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's about all there was of that.
Yeah. I didn't know all that.
Well, and Carson is living, and me and Versi.
And Babe,
And Beatty.
there's 4 left now.
The 4 of us live, one brother and 2 sisters.
Yeah.
And myself.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know all that. Well, now, what did you do when you was little? You know, what was your pastime?
Just
Go to
running around like all the young ones.
Just in the woods or around, or did you?
This is out. I can remember back when I was very, very young, having a dog that stayed with me all the time.
Really?
When I was little.
Uh-huh.
And I've heard my mother talk about when she'd go to the field to work, take a blanket and lay me down. That dog stayed with me all the time.
You're kidding.
She stayed right with me. And I guess she was, she was about the same age I was, about 12, 13 years old, and Dad gave her away to somebody. I can remember crying.
Did you give her away?
Yeah.
What was her name? Do you remember?
Dory.
Dory. Dog's name was Dory.
I can remember Mommy telling me about it. Now, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But about the snake, it called on a black snake up,
Uh-huh.
and she heard her barking, she was a horn born, I guess. And she come to see what was wrong with him. The black snake was crawled up to me. She was crawled up, wouldn't bother me at all.
Uh-huh.
I remember that good.
What did
I can just remember her telling me about it now. I can remember.
Yeah.
But I can remember back when I was little about playing
Uh-huh.
out in the yard and around the house, things like that. I can remember that better than I can remember anything today. But
Yeah.
I do things I done yesterday. I can remember that better than I can remember while I've done it.
Just things. Yeah.
And I always did keep up with remember. And I was, I can remember very well working in the fields when I was little. Full of weeds.
Gardens? Cornfields or just gardening?
Gardening, corn. Little fella, but big enough to know how to pull weeds out of the corn, and Dad, I'd be in the field with him pulling weeds.
Uh-huh. So what did your daddy do then? Was he a miner or just a farmer?
No, he just a farmer. There wasn't no mines in this country back in them days.
Yeah. So he's just a farmer.
He just farmed, worked for different other farmers.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And they did made a living, raised us. Yep, all that.
Uh-huh.
God barely did get us grown.
Well, he done good with you anyway.
Yeah, pretty tough, folks.
Yeah, I'd say it was then.
People don't see tough times now.
I'd say they don't.
No, children don't.
Do you think they're tough? But I'd say there's nothing compared
Well,
to.
there's nothing. You can't realize now. When we was kids, and we was great big fellas, we got this one pair of shoes, and that was the winter time, they'd last us a year. And then there's this a stiff old as a board.
Oh, goodness.
Broke in, they call it. And Dad had things, put them on, wear a sole leather on, or put another one on them, take hard leather and tack them back on. And we just I went back a number of times. It snowed, get out in, didn't stay long, but you get out in.
Today, if you done that, you'd probably catch pneumonia. If you done that today, you'd probably catch pneumonia.
Well, you probably would if you come up used to it.
Yeah.
It don't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I've been used to being Henry and other boys, in the winter time, we'd stay out from there big snows on the hunting with that, We was small, we had good dogs, and we'd have to hunt, cook them out, and take us a bucket or something and cook them out. And roast them or build us a fire and hang them up, by it. And roast them.
Would you kill them with a gun or catch
Oh,
them?
dogs would catch them first, and if they didn't catch them, I don't know, sometimes after we got big enough, we had guns.
Uh-huh.
Well, we always had guns after we got big enough to take care of ourselves, And we hunted the longest was until we got old enough and could get jobs, you see. And, I worked on, carried water on, when they was building the railroad over here up in Clare, you know, and went through the mine there, things like that.
Okay, now, we was rabbit hunting. Till we got interrupted, we was rabbit hunting.
Yeah, well, see, back in my growing up days, there wasn't nothing for you to do, nothing for children to do. And you never get nothing, no money or nothing like that. They'd hardly ever see you. They'd trade with cattle and things like that. And raise hogs and everything for the meat. You didn't, they wasn't within the country. I was raised back in, up to that.
Back on Tarpon?
Well, back inside Tarpon, mostly on the ridge, you know, for the graveyard is over by.
Yeah.
That was a big plantation there then, a big Columbus Kilgore, man, I mean, they owned all that hill and hundreds of acres in there, you know. And he was a big farmer. And he made all kinds of furniture. He had a big shop. And I can remember it. He had horses that would pull that big wheel around, you know. He had cutters on it. And he could cut any kind of, make any kind of furniture he wanted out of there and roll it. You see these old time beds and things where it was cut. And he had machines on that, in that thing. But it run now, people these days get electricity and stuff to run that. But he had some big horses and some, just put in that, they go around that wheel and just fly, you know. And he had big steers, big bulls. I worked in them too.
Yeah.
And he'd work his horses sometimes. He'd work them big oxen for, they'd go around and they did a good old work on plow them and ride them and everything. Well, first job I was ever on was on the railroad. When they was building this railroad in Elkhorn to Dan. Somebody built it here on down through Kentucky. I guess there's a railroad come up to Elkhorn City, you know. And they built a road from Elkhorn City to Dance where to meet another road there at Dance. I worked out, carried water from there to grading that road. I worked on his, I guess, from the time I was 10 years old, big enough to carry big buckets of water to the working men, you know. And I'd have to, well, we lived on Tarpon then. And Dad, he worked on the railroad all the time, too. I remember I got about maybe 75 cents a day, something like that on there, maybe 50, I don't know exactly. But you worked 10 long hours.
For 75 cents?
75 cents. And
was that big money back then, though? Could you buy a lot, or?
Oh, yeah, you could buy a lot, buy more than 75 cents. And you buy now, $2 or $3 on that.
Yeah.
Well, you could get, you know, now you have to pay about 50 cents for a little piece of candy. If you buy a nickel's worth of candy back there, then you get a big poke for it. Maybe a pound of it.
Yeah. Wait just a minute. Let me make sure this is okay. We hear better now. I believe we can hear it better now.
And I worked on that railroad, and it took a long time to build it. I worked on that railroad till I was getting the same price as doing men's work, you know.
Yeah.
I was a grown boy, about 16, 17 years old when it. I was the same work that the men done. I got $1.75 a day.
$1.75.
Yeah, that's big money back then. Well, that's what Dad got all the time, you know, Ben got that. And where you going? And I worked there till they got that railroad done. I worked on it all the time. And then I worked some on when they were building laying track and doing that, you know, before the trains come in, before the Roman train goes. I worked on the first mine I ever worked on was in Marbone, Kentucky. I guess I was 17, 18 years old.
So when did you meet Grandma?
Who?
Grandma. Jess. When did you meet her?
Oh, I met her, I was about 20 years old.
Oh, okay. So we ain't got to that point yet, huh?
Well, just about.
I thought they married younger than that back then.
Well, Jessie was your grandma, who you're talking about.
Yeah.
She was only 16 and I wasn't. I believe I was 20 something, almost 21. I was not too young to go to the army, you see. And I was working the mines then at Splashdam.
Splashdown. Well, how did you meet her? When did you first see her?
Well, I first seen her at Clinchco.
Uh-huh.
Well, she had this little fellow man. That was a year or two before we was married.
Uh-huh.
And she had this little old fat outside the other Clinchco. First time I met her, I made her sister lived at Clinchco, and she stayed with her sister.
Uh-huh.
And she was come to a tipper where I was working in the mine, and she was carrying a bucket of coal back to the house, you know, where she had her sister's house.
Uh-huh.
Carrying a bucket of coal, and I tried to get her to let me carry that coal, and she wouldn't. And I never seen her no more for a year or two, you know. That's my bit. She's just a little fellow now, and tried to get her to let me carry that coal. And I seen her then, they moved to Splashdam, down there somewhere, and running in there. And that was 1918, I believe.
1918. God.
And my daughter, the first one, was born 19, I believe, low was.
1919, yeah.
She's about 70 years old now, and she had her birthday in September.
Really? Well, this September. Next month will be her birthday, then what?
Yeah, it's 18th of September.
Well, now what was you doing then? Still working in the mines? Did you have a big garden then, or?
No, we was in the coal camps then.
Now, okay.
I lived in the coal camps then. I never raised no gardens till let's see, July. Bought out that old farm. You can't remember it. You wasn't born when we lived over there. I stayed there. Yes, about 10 years over there. And I went to, where I did go to Buckhannon. I stayed over there in the mines for 2 years. And I come No, I'm getting out of whack with that. I went from over there, I know the Buck Hand, but I went somewhere else between now. And I worked in, me and Jess was married, we moved. We come out of the coal company. Had to be married before I had any children.
Uh-huh.
But still wasn't splashed down, but we lived down to some of the side of the splash down. So I about forgot where that was. But we didn't stay right there. A little while we went to Clinchco and I went to, we moved, from where we was at. And Clinchco, all that, the coal graveyard and all this there for in Clinchco. We lived right on top of that too, for Clinchco.
Yeah.
And there's, where you go into Clinchco.
Yeah.
Every hall today. But we lived in a house right up on that point there, right in the middle of Clinchco. Yeah.
That's where Lola was born.
No. we lived splashed down the road.
Okay.
And let's see, Clifford, he was born with Steinman. He was older. Clifford, he was born with Steinman.
Is Clifford older than Lola? Lola was the first one, right?
Yeah, Lola was older than Clifford. Clifford. And let's see if it didn't make it. No, Bill Lois was born that's fresh in there.
Okay, there's Lola and Clifford and Bill Lois.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, I can tell you a doctor's name. I can think of his name. Dr. Newland was, let's see. Dr. Newland, I believe, was Clifford's doctor. And old man Dr. Tiv Sullivan, I used to have that all dead now.
Yeah.
Dr. Tiv was Lola's doctor. And
Did Grandma have all these children at home? Did she have them at home, or did she go to the doctor's house? Or?
Oh, the doctor would come to the home back then, You'd get a doctor, and it didn't cost nothing back in them days.
Yeah. So she had them all at home?
Yeah, yeah, I know she did. Because she never went to a hospital to have
Oh, my goodness.
There's doctors then about, well, we had Dr. Hayes, Dr. Flash, them. There's them coal companies had doctors at all of their plants, all over where they worked. They had a doctor's office at Splash Dam, doctor's office, Clinchco, doctor's office, Hayside. Everywhere that they had any top mine, it's any big outfit. Now they had their own doctors there. And they would take care of the camps, and then they'd go out anywhere to see sick people. People didn't have no hospitals to go to back then. There was no hospital. Most of us hadn't owned that hospital, because it was around the neighborhood, or in the country, not just the neighborhood, was Dan. Clinchfield had a doctor there, had a little hospital where the patients had beds and everything. And I believe that Hayside, the old man, Dr. Sullivan, I believe he had a little hospital. And old man, Dr. Rufus Phipps, he was a clinic one. He'd take people in and keep them maybe a night if they had a bed or two. But there's no hospital, no equipment like that now. If they was operating on anything, they just laid you down and left.
Oh my goodness. Well, give you a fifth of liquor and went to work.
Yeah, give you liquor and maybe give you nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Holes, you make 2 or 3 holes, they take a leg over.
Oh, goodness. Shoo.
About the wolf that was. They was good doctors though, they got along. Well, they wasn't people like that now to work with.
Yeah.
My God, you go to the hospital now, you can't hardly find one that's got a bed in.
Yeah.
And back then, there wasn't no people to mess with much.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, most of them doctors taking, like Dr. Phipps, my dad and them Phippses was always know one another well, you know. And they come to the house. Mommy used to be pretty bad to get sick and have headaches and things like that. Well, old man Rufus Phipps, he had big horses to ride. They'd ride in. They had them things they carried their medicine out with them in a big medicine bag or a doctor's bag.
Well.
And that's about all.
Well, what come next? Okay. We got down to, there's Lola and Clifford and Bill Lewis. Okay.
That was the oldest.
3. Okay. And then who come next?
Bill Lewis and then Missy and Pearl. They were twins, you know.
Missy and Pearl, yeah. They were twins?
Yeah, they were the next oldest. And then, let's see now, I have to study it.
Ever, yeah.
He was one died not too old for long.
About 3 years ago, wasn't it, Grandpa? I know I was pregnant with Jessie. Yeah, but about 3 years ago.
Yeah, but the next Magdalene, we lived in Henry, Kentucky. She was nothing was born. She was born in Kentucky, Hellier, Kentucky.
Hellier.
Hellier.
Hellier. Hellier, Kentucky.
I don't remember her doctor's name. She was right off in Hellier. Little town. I mean, it was a coal country that went a year, 2 or 3 years. And Magdalene, and Maggie, yeah, there's a rooster next to Magdalene. Now there's one that was dead, you know, between before roosters. But there was one died of birth that was born on Mag's birthday. In 2 years.
After Mag was born?
2 years. So Mag's birthday is in the 11th day of February. No, let's see, yet the 11th day of February. And then the next one that was born above her, her name I don't remember here now, Angita. And she was
Angita?
born. Yeah, she was born in 2 years. Their birthdays was both on the same birthday.
You're kidding.
Birthday. 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah, 2 years later. And then Ruth.
Well, now what happened? She was dead at birth?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then next one was Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
And Evelyn. And then I guess Betty. No, not Betty. Alice.
Alice. Uh-huh.
And somebody I can't think of Alice. And
Betty. That was the one between Alice and Betty.
Alice. Probably Betty was the next one. And Frankie.
Uh-huh.
And then Jack was the last one.
So that was how many altogether? Counting the one that was born dead. Was that 13?
Well, I probably was. Maybe it was, anyhow, 12 or 13, all, you know.
Total, yeah.
Older. I mean, one of them dead, born dead. Let's see. She was, well, she was the last. No, she was, yeah, that made 14.
14.
Yeah,
So
I raised 13 grown, you see.
Yeah.
See,
And I wonder how I can take care of one.
well, it is a hard job, but you couldn't raise 13, you know. I don't think you could work out and possibly raise 13 now, but then it wasn't too bad. Because they was, when I worked in the mines, I always made pretty good money, you know, in the mines. I contracted and things like that. And I made pretty good money, and sometimes extra good money. And to work that you could get your daily wages back in, you couldn't have raised 13 of them. That you'd have been on a big farm or something other than that. So when they got up, some of them able to work, well, I was out on the farm then. On Clifford, Lola, up to Everett, which is on the farm. And they would work, and their mother made them work. She was good at anything there was to work, and make anything in the garden, and had plenty to eat all the time, and raised their own cattle and their own hogs, and we killed a lot of them. And she'd raised as high as 150 or 200 chickens, and we had frying chickens all the time. We didn't have to buy them, go to the store or anything like that. And we just managed to raise.
What was your earnings when you made good money, real good money? How much did you make a day back when you were working, when Mommy and them was growing up?
Well, I mean, just the wages I work out in the mines, you know, was pretty small. I can't remember. You'd make $3 or $4 a day, but I would take contracts in the mines, you know. I worked 4 or 5 or 6 men, and I would make, and sometimes take one time I had a whole mine to myself. Just me and one more fella run it. And I make big money then, $25, $50, and $100 a day. The wasted it.
Well, that was big money back then.
It was real money. I wasted that.
Today, that's pretty good money.
It is big money today.
Yeah.
But it's bigger money then.
I'd say so.
And I gambled and wasted it, most of it.
Really?
And that was back when I didn't have no children much. Just wasted it on nothing, you want.
Yeah, just throwed it away.
Throw it away.
Yeah. Well, I bet Grandma didn't like that either, did she?
No, but She had anything she wanted, back then.
Yeah.
Hey, now that didn't last long, though, you see.
Yeah.
That last, I had, I guess, a year, two, maybe a year, I guess, when we made that big money. And the rest of it was just daily wages, the most of it.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let me get this. Yeah.
I mean, that's their first job.
Oh, was that their first child?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Huh. Let's see, where was we?
He lived in North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one of them today, too. So, and then when did you move here?
Moved here in in April 1st, 1927, I believe it was. Let's see, let me get it right now. I've been here first day last April. I've been here 42 years.
So it'll be 89 or 46.
I've been here 42 years. I believe I moved here and that had been
1940.
I moved here in 19.
You've been here 42 years?
Yeah.
So you moved here in 1946? No.
Yeah.
89.
I left over there on that rig.
1947.
I left over there in 1945. And I went and worked 2 years, about 2 years over in Buckhannon, and I moved here in 47.
Yeah, 1947. Was all your kids born then, or?
Yeah, Jack was about 6 or 7 years old when we moved here. He'll be.
I guess some of them was off and married then by then, wasn't they?
Oh yeah, well, and I kept. We had nieces, baby. She was working. Her husband was in the army. Amanda, they lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and she was working, and Linda was born while he was in the army. Maybe where he was at. And we kept her till she was 2 years old when she was a baby.
Really?
Yes,
So what happened to Missy?
well, she just was operated on for something or another. And my Mag, I believe, was here. She was here when Mag lived there. She was married. And she died right quick. I forget now what they called it. But she was stirred too early. Well, she was something or other. I know I was seeing on a piece of paper where I've got it keeping the Bible in there for the doctors or some of them rolled out, or he had it rolled out what it was, ever what it was. But I forgot now what it was.
What it was? Well.
She had 3 children, Linda and Bob and Dorothy. And now, I ain't seen none of them but Linda. I never have seen Dorothy. She was 2 years old.
Oh, really?
Missy died. And I ain't seen her since Missy's funeral. But when she died. And Bobby, he was 6 years old. I believe Linda She was 9-year-old. She remembers being here after she grown up, but Jesse kept her and took care of her till she was 2 years old. Now, I've never seen every one of them left. You know, it was her.
Really, you got attached to her, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, she was a baby.
Yeah, and you wasn't used to the baby, yeah. Oh, yours was grown.
Jack he was about, I guess he was 4 or 5 years old, you know.
You had a baby back again.
Baby.
Uh-huh.
And she's just same as the rest of them to me.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen her now. Well, she's been here since she's been married and got children.
Yeah.
I think she's in California now. And I ain't seen Bob down there, Dorothy, since her funeral.
Well.
Well, I don't know where they're at. I mean, last I heard of Bob, he was a fireman in Norfolk.
Uh-huh.
He come back to Norfolk and was a fireman now. He's grown. I see he'd be landed way up in her 40s, you see. She was 9 years old when Missy died.
Yeah.
And Bobby was 6 and Dorothy was 2. And I never seen Dorothy very many, just maybe one time before Missy died.
Yeah.
I've not seen her in her heart. She was only 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever he married, I've seen her, I think, after Missy died. And that's the last ever and I don't know where none of them live. The last time I heard of them, Bobby was in Norfolk and he was a fireman. And Dorothy lived in Florida. And Linda, when she was here, that's the last time I heard of them. Well, they know where they're at. Well, now, one of Missy's boys was in the Army. She had another boy besides Bob, you see. Bob, she was married to another man. She had a boy, and he was in the Army, and he was one of her boys. Now, Barry was telling me about that, Everett's boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Army and was stationed out there. And Bob, Barry seen him and seen he was getting married, and Linda come to his wedding, and they was going to come on down here, and they called him back. Called you have to go, I reckon, when the Army called you, you have to move out, and they didn't get to come.
Well.
She was coming and coming down with her boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last I ever heard from them. Barry was telling me about it. He was coming with them.
Yeah.
Barry was. But they called the boy up in the Army. I don't know what his name was. I seen her. She had about 2 or 3 children the last time she was here, you know. And the last I heard from her, now she lived in California, and her children now, about 2 of them, they've been out to the roost and stayed with her a week or so.
Well,
One time.
of Linda's or Macy's?
Of Macy's.
Yeah.
Macy's
Yeah.
Linda's children.
Yeah.
Linda's children.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Not me.
It was Macy's grandchildren.
Yeah.
It wasn't Macy's. But she kept in touch with Ruth. So I ain't heard from her. Now Ruth said she hadn't now for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I lost contact with all of them.
Yeah. Just about. Just about.
Yeah, she just don't know where, only know where Macy's at and where her children is, you know,
Yeah.
some of them. They're scattered. See, her children's old now.
Yeah.
Macy's children is.
Yeah.
Bobby, I guess he's, well, she's been dead for a long time. She died in 1952, I believe.
Yeah. Long before I got here.
Oh, her daughter's way older than you.
Yeah.
She was 2 years old when Missy died. And I reckon now Missy's been living till now. I believe it was, well, she's the same age as Pearl. Pearl's 64 years old.
Is she
They
that old?
was twins.
I didn't know she was that old.
Yeah, Pearl, Missy and Pearl were twins. And,
Oh, well, I knew they were twins, but I didn't know they were that old.
yeah, Pearl was, she'll be the last day of January now. She was 64, or will be 64 the last day of this coming January.
Uh-huh.
She's getting old, but she's Bill Lois. He is 60. Well, about 62 now, 66, I believe. I could go back to the county and things like that and find out. But yeah, man, old Jack could be 48 years old at his birth.
That's the
And
youngest.
he's a baby.
Yeah.
God, they're old. They're all old.
Well, they're getting up there, aren't they?
Sure are.
And got a bunch of kids and grandkids, huh?
I wouldn't know how many.
I wouldn't know how many to count either.
Oh, I couldn't count them, I guess, by just sitting down and taking my time and studying. You got to study whether that or how many you do know. Some I never did see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pearl, or Bill Lois's two boys, I seen one of them. I never did see the oldest. The youngest, she got two by her first husband. You know, she just walked off and left them when she left her husband.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, her husband was first husband was a Smith. And I forgot now, that's what his name was. I didn't know him.
Mm-hmm.
James, I believe, was his name. And she had a boy. I've seen her oldest, and her and him. Well, built over on the ridge over yonder. Her and her first husband visited about twice over there. I've seen him. He was just a little, was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, his name was Tommy. And I never did see him.
Now, is that the one that died?
Oh, no, one of them is dead.
Oh, okay.
This one died. She had hid after she left her and her first husband.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
was- no, we kept him till he died. She stayed here with him. We kept him till he died. He had to be 2 years and a half old. About as old as Jessie is. I guess she's 2 years old. So
Jessie-
she's about 3.
Jessie's 3. Yeah, she was 3 in March.
He was 2 years and a half old when he died.
Well, huh. So that's the only ones you've not seen? I guess there's a lot of great-grandchildren you've not seen,
Oh,
though.
I didn't see many great young children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's about all. Well, I guess I've got several grandchildren. I ain't seen them. I have to count them up. I don't know. I reckon I've seen all the other children. I guess I've seen all my grandchildren. I've seen them all. Don't know of any, only them two that I ain't seen.
The two Beloises
Uh,
that Bill always had.
them two, yeah.
Mhm.
Them two, I believe is all the grandchildren I never did see, 'cause I seen all the Mises, you know, and all the Pearl and Pearl and other two. I've seen all of this stuff.
Well, when he gets into great grandchildren, we've not seen all them.
Oh, yeah.
There's all kinds of them, ain't they?
And great grandchildren, you see. And I've seen some of them great grandchildren. Billy's girls. She has got 3, and I've seen 2 of them.
Yeah, they were in not long ago, wasn't they? I didn't get to see them.
Yeah, Billy was,
Mhm.
and her children, but she didn't have, and some of them, maybe one of her grandchildren was her boys, see, she got the most of any my children, I believe, got more. She got 6, 4 boys and 2 girls.
She got sick.
And they've got, let's see, Pam's got 3. I've seen 1 or 2 of Pam's children. And the other, let's see what her name is, Irene, I believe she got 2. I've seen 1 of them.
Mhm.
Who was it? One of them.
Well.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to Grandpa. Happy birthday to you.
Now blow the candles out. Get them all out.
Almost.
Oh, one more.
No, I want to help get the candles out. I love to get the flower.
All right, give me a.
Can I get a flower? I want a flower. I know. I want the
Here.
pink one.
Give me a.